This week in Destiny, the Corrupted is our Grandmaster. Now, Corrupted can be pretty difficult. They health gated the boss as of last season, so things can be a bit dicey and a bit hairy. But with this guide, we're going to go through that and hopefully make it a much more pleasant experience for you and your fire team. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to give more recommendations on what we used and how great it was or how bad it was. But of course, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep seeing this content. And we'll have a quick word from our going to be immediately met with an overload champion. You and your fire team work together and take them out. And then as soon as you take out this particular overload champion, you can either keep going forward and take care of some of the ads or immediately go right on the path that goes around this little mountain. I recommend always taking the little path around the mountain because it is just a lot easier and nothing is going to just randomly snipe you. Once you get around to this side, you can also deal with the other overload champion that's over here as well as the boss. Recommend taking care of the boss first because the overload champions aren't immediately going to notice you. If it does, then obviously take care of it, but I always recommend taking care of the boss first and then working on the two overload champions that spawn here and then immediately moving inside. Now, a change they made here a while ago is that ads don't spawn in here, so we're just going to move on to the elevator section. In the elevator section, when you actually get to this room, there's going to be a handful of scions. Deal with them. Just make sure they don't multiply, as that's what's going to make them a problem. Before you scan the device in the middle, you and your fire team are going to play a little game of quick hot potato. You're going to grab these Ascendent batteries and pass them back and forth. You only do need to actually pass it once to one of your teammates to make it fully charged. Once that is done and two of you have one of these charged Ascendant batteries, you can start the encounter. When this starts, the first wave is going to be a bunch of scions. These aren't really going to be a problem. The second wave is going to have all the little mini bosses and whatever. This is what you need the charged batteries for. Throw them at the shielded enemies in the middle and just start defeating enemies as you see fit. Leave the big Cabal Centurion up as he is what triggers the next wave. Whittle down his health to a comfortable spot where you can just take care of him in one fell swoop and begin passing these Ascendant batteries back and forth, preparing for the next wave of enemies. Once you are satisfied with what you have charged, you can defeat the Cabal Centurion and start the second wave, where it is going to be the same exact thing. First wave is going to be a bunch of scions, and the second wave is going to be a bunch of these shielded bosses. If you have a tether, this is a good place to throw your tether once that second wave spawns because it's going to group everything up and you usually only have to use one of these charged batteries. Sometimes, somebody won't get popped, so you will have to use an extra one. But pop all their shields, defeat all the ads, and the elevator will come to a stop, opening a big door. Once this big door is fully opened, I highly recommend you run and take cover, as there's going to be a Shrieker and an unstoppable ogre that is just going to rain down the void hellfire upon you. The unstoppable ogre is the easiest thing to take care of in this room, so do that, push up dealing with some of the hive, and watching out for the Shrieker. Once you take care of the Shrieker and push into the next room, I also recommend you take some caution, as sometimes the Arc Knights that spawn in that room with the ogre will kind of push back into this room and hide in corners and just one-shot you, and you'll be stuck wondering where they went, how they got there, etc, etc. Once you're in this big open room, there's going to be two unstoppable ogres here, one right in front of you, very easy to take care of, and one walking down the stairs on the far end of the room. Take care of him as well. Once both ogres have been dealt with, there's just a handful of knights and a bunch of shriekers. Now, there are two things you can do here. One, if you have a Void Hunter with Omnioculus or a very good just invisibility setup, your hunter can just go invisible and run through this entire place, get everything to despawn, and start the next encounter. If you don't have a hunter that can do that, well, you're going to be stuck destroying all the shriekers and spending some time here and maybe wasting a few reses, so just keep that in mind. Once we get to the next area, we have the two ogre bosses. When you get into this area, there's going to be an unstoppable that spawns. He's going to spawn either left, right, or middle. He's going to pick one of those spots randomly, and I recommend you deal with him as fast as you possibly can, as once you go into the castaway realm, he gets a little squirrely and he can just teleport and spawn wherever he wants to spawn, so just be mindful of that. Take care of that unstoppable ogre, teleport in, and start dealing with the unstoppable centurions that are in the castaway realm. Once you get teleported back to the normal ogre, defeat him as fast as you can, and then you can get stuck in the castaway realm. In the castaway realm, once you've defeated those two centurions, you're going to do the same thing. Burn the boss, and we can move on out of this place while avoiding the shriekers that are going to spawn and just start murdering you. Once both bosses have been taken care of, and you're back in the normal realm, there are going to be two centurions that are going to push through the door in front of you. Take care of them both. They're pretty easy as they like to gang up on you. Deal with all the thrall as well as all of the ads on the side. The two void shielded, I think they're acolytes, I can't remember. They're two void shielded enemies that are on the pillar, so that your left and right hand side. Down the stairs, two more centurions. Again, unstoppable champions are very easy to deal with. Take care of them and then start looking for the overload champions. There's going to be one on your far left and one on your far right. You as a team need to pick which one to go for. If you go for the left one, take care of him. You can also avoid this boss here entirely, or you can choose to deal with him. He's really not that bad. Strand is really good here. Void is really good here. There's a lot of really good things you can use to just melt this guy. Either way, once both champions have been dealt with, you can walk into this little Ascendant realm and do the big drop down. When you get through this big drop down, there is going to be another overload champion in front of you alongside a bunch of adds. Same thing as usual, take care of the overload champion first, deal with the adds, and keep moving forward. There's going to be a bunch of platforms with a bunch of enemies, just take care of them, and you're going to be met with another overload champion. Take care of him, move forward, another overload champion. Once you get past this final overload champion, we can then start working on the boss encounter. Now this boss encounter can be a little rough. There's a bunch of adds, she shoots you from everywhere, and there's a bunch of mechanics you have to deal with. So what you're going to do first is jump across, you're going to spawn everything in, and you're going to jump back to this little platform that everybody likes to stand on, because all the adds are going to stand in front of you. If you have a tether, this is a perfect place to throw this thing, as there's going to be a bunch of adds in front of you. Take care of all the adds once you feel safe, and we're going to repeat the same mechanic from the elevator room. Someone's going to go grab the Ascendant battery, you're going to charge it up and throw it at her to break her shields and damage her. There's no real way to melt her anymore. She is health gated. Do the damage to her and repeat the process. Adds are gonna spawn, take care of the adds, charge the battery, throw it at her, do damage, and once she gets down to, I think it's about half health or something, she's going to then flee into the Ascendant realm and you're going to follow her. On this first path, there's going to be an overload champion. Take care of him. Keep moving forward. The solar knights are what gets her to move away, so take care of them if you just want her completely out of the picture for this part. Move up, there's going to be an unstoppable champion, deal with him, and we can move on to the final little ring where this encounter finally takes place, and it's going to be the same mechanics. You're going to jump up and be careful of her push mechanic. I always recommend, if you think you're going to get pushed, do not use your jump until you are completely safe and sure that she's not going to do it again, as if you jump while she does it, you've then burned a resource to get back on the platform. Keep charging the Ascendant batteries, throw them at her, break her shield, do damage to her, repeat the process, and watch all that glorious loot fall on the right hand side of your screen. Again, Corrupted can be a bit of a problem, but at the end of the day, it's still not the worst Grandmaster we have in rotation this season. A huge help in this Grandmaster was Malfeasance. I didn't even have the catalyst for Malfeasance done, and this thing was putting in work. I was running Lucky Pants Malfeasance on my Void Hunter, and it was amazing. The amount of damage this thing puts out to champions, and even the final boss, and even the Ogre boss was amazing, and it's a top tier recommendation. But that is that. This is the last Corrupted guide I'm going to put out unless they change anything. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.